I'm going to be upfront right away and say that this movie is by no means scary. And I do admit I'm not a newbie to horror movies, okay? I've definitely seen my share, so maybe that has something to do with it. But overall, I think that a lot of people aren't gonna walk out of this movie feeling like they've just been terrified. However, I don't think that that is the only important way to measure the success of a horror movie. I realize how that sounds. That probably sounds very crazy. I'm sure that there's horror snobs out there that are ready to jump down my throat, but just bear with me. Let me give you some more details about this movie, and then you'll come to understand why I'm saying that. Let's discuss weapons. As soon as I saw the trailer for this movie, I was genuinely curious because the visuals of those kids running down the streets in the dark with their arms out like this, that is just extremely unsettling. That is not how people are supposed to run. That's not good form. I can't imagine that's great for stamina. And so it immediately makes you feel like, what's going on? That's very intriguing. And given the way that people are really prone to latching onto things that are super popular in the moment, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we see people outside running around with their arms like that coming up in the foreseeable future. Don't worry, they're most likely not going to hurt you. Weapons stars Julia Garner, Josh Brolin, Alden Ehrenreich, Benedict Wong, and Austin Abrams. It's written and directed by Zach Creggers, the guy who brought us the very disturbing and disgusting movie Barbarian. In this film, a town is dealing with the mysterious disappearance of a bunch of kids who all leave their house in the middle of the night with no indication of where they went. Jumping right in, I have to say that this cast really works. Julia Garner, she's great. She never really lets me down. Josh Brolin, he's a legend. No change there. Benedict Wong, also an actor that's very easy to get into. That's why we all really love Wong in the Marvel movies. It's kind of funny that his name is Benedict Wong and his character's name is Wong. It's not much of a change for him, is it? And I have to say, Alden Ehrenreich is really starting to grow on me as well. He didn't really sell me on his portrayal of Han Solo, but he was just in that series Ironheart, which overall was not very good, but he was a standout in that movie, or that show, should I say, and he was really good in Oppenheimer, and he was really good in this movie, so I'm liking this guy. I very much appreciated the thoughtful way that Zach Creggers chose to tell this story. It's not necessarily a very linear movie. This movie does not move in a straight path. It's divided up into sections, and in each section, we get to follow a different character and get a different perspective, which really does help flesh out the story, and it's kind of unique. I don't really recall seeing a horror movie take that approach, and I think it worked out really well. As a whole, I would say that this movie is far more going towards the mystery vibe than it is going for that horror movie vibe. Not to say that there's not still scary stuff in this movie. This is a horror movie, and this is the guy who brought us Barbarian, but I'm just saying it's not necessarily trying to fill the void of being just a cliche horror movie. I was feeling very pulled in right from the start of this movie. I really wanted to find out just what's going on. Where did those kids go? And why did they have their arms out like that? I needed the answers. And I have to say, I did walk into this movie with some theories about what might possibly be going on. I was not wrong, so I was not surprised by this movie. For me, this is an incredibly made film that wowed me, while at the same time also leaving me feeling just a tad bit underwhelmed. It's pretty bare bones. What you see is what you get, and I will say for sure that Barbarian had way more of a shock factor going on than this movie does. What makes this film work so well is this dynamic cast, and of course, Zach Creggers' brilliant directing. As I said earlier, I was extremely surprised to see Josh Brolin in this movie. It just does not seem like the kind of movie that he would do. He just doesn't strike me as someone that wants to do a horror movie, and yet, having seen this movie, I think I can understand why he signed up for it, because he very much is spending a lot of this movie trying to solve a mystery. He's a father who lost his kid, and he wants to get to the bottom of it, and I think that this was a perfect role for him, and I like that it happened to also be a horror movie. And Julia Garner, this girl never disappoints me. I've been a fan of her since I saw her in Ozark, although at first when I saw her in Ozark, I really didn't like Ruth. Ruth was kind of an annoying bitch, piece of shit, but eventually she does grow on you, and she is just a really stellar actress. And this is actually Julia Garner's second horror movie of the season. She was in that movie Wolfman back in January. That movie kind of sucked, but she was actually great in it. she was great in this movie too. Overall for me, this movie is an 8 out of 10. I don't really think it wowed me quite to the extent that I was really expecting. I think I went in with very high expectations because I kind of had this idea in my head about what was going to be going on, and the fact that I was actually right, I think let me down. Not to mention, it is a little short, shy on some of that horror movie stuff. I don't want crazy over the top stuff. I don't really necessarily need it to be quite as insane as Barbarian, but I think I was expecting a little bit more, so that's why I'm landing at an 8. But I do think this is worth seeing in cinemas, and it's definitely not gonna disappoint people that liked Barbarian. It's very similar, just not quite to the same level, if you know what I mean. So that's my thoughts on this movie. If you saw this movie, go ahead and put your thoughts in the comments and let me know just what did you take away from it. I do think that people are going to feel a little bit mixed about it, and I'm looking forward to hearing about it. Maybe people will end up being a lot higher than me. That's just my thoughts. But if you liked this video, go ahead and hit the like button to let me know that you liked it. And if you want to hear more things from me, you absolutely should be subscribing. Later.